Raied Al Wazzan, anti-war activist.
Okay, good evening. My name is Raied Al Wazzan. I am originally from Mosul in Iraq. I've been living in Belfast for the last 25 years. So previous speakers talk about Palestine and how much the Palestinian people are suffering, and we need all to work together to contain that campaign. And I would like to see the general public demonstration as big as the one we show anti-war when the Iraq war started 10 years ago, or now longer than that. So I'm going to cover the angle between what's happening now in Iraq and what's happening in Palestine. Is there any link? Well, definitely there is a link, but it's not obvious in the media. Where is that link? 100 years ago, when the British actually occupied the Middle East, they divided all these countries by using a ruler and a map and divide the area between themselves and the French. So that's why you see all the border as straight line. Nowadays, the American administration, they realize this is not the good way of dividing the countries. So they have now a new plan. Why they have a new plan? Because if you look at the whole countries in the Middle East, Israel is the only one that look an odd. So they need to change the whole map of Middle East, dividing the countries to ethnic, religious, sectarian countries. So you will have a Shiite country, Sunni country, Kurdish countries, Druze countries, maybe Christian country. In that case, Israel, as a Jewish state, would be accepted in the region. So the American administration is pushing towards that. So what's happening in Iraq now, despite the American administration saying that we want united Iraq, what they are doing on the ground is the opposite. I go to Iraq every year. Last summer I was there. Last Christmas I was there. The border between Iraq and Syria was open. You can drive anything you want. You could buy a tank in Iraq. You could buy a weapon in Iraq. Anything it could happen. If you have the money, you could do it. The Iraqi government know it. The American administration know it. They haven't done anything about it. They want this, what's going on, to happen. In 2003, 250,000 Sunni was driven out of Basra under the eyes of the British. Nobody talked about it. Why? Because they need to divide Iraq into sectarian countries. And then you will have war between these countries, and then nobody will look at Palestine. What's happening in Palestine? So quietly, the Israeli could vanish, kill, move all the Palestinians. If you Google, actually, Joe Biden plan for the Middle East, you will see some of it already happened. 10 years ago, he put that plan. One of the plans divide Sudan to 2 countries, it's already happened. Dividing Iraq into 3 countries, which is in the process of happening. Dividing Libya to 3 countries, we'll get there. And also you will see they are going to push the Palestinians from Gaza all the way to Egypt and give them part of Sinai, which is only a desert. You cannot survive there. So there is a link between what's happening now and what's happening in Palestine. Unfortunately, when you hear what's happening in Iraq, the American rush to help Iraqi people. Actually, that's not true. On the ground, you don't see that. This is only on the media. They sent a couple of planes to help Iraqi people, but Iraqi people are still suffering. A few days ago, the American bombarded the water installation inside Mosul. Mosul is a very large city. It's about 2 million inhabitants. Nobody's talking about Mosul because that's under the ISIS control, and the ISIS is responsible for that. So they only talk about a few thousand on the mountain. Why they talk about this mountain? With lots of oil there. This is the fighting area now, which contains lots of oil. If Gaza has as much oil as Iraq, we wouldn't be here. It would be a completely different story. I don't want to speak for long. I could speak for all night. I've been given only 5 minutes. Thank you very much for listening to me. Any question I have?